Welcome to the Fantasy Baseball Show, and here are your daily fantasy baseball matchups for August 25th, 2020. Let's get into the action. Los Angeles Dodgers at San Francisco Giants. The lefty Julio Urias has his work cut out for him against the Giants lineup today. They have been 33% better than league average against lefties. Urias is not an easy play today. He might not last too long against this Giants lineup. Johnny Cueto again versus this Dodgers lineup. If you look at the data, the Dodgers are 33% better than league average against righties. Expect a lot of runs from these teams today. I expect Cueto, though, if you look at the prices, Cueto's going for $3,000 less. I expect Cueto to have a better start than Julio Urias today. Cueto has more experience going against this Dodgers lineup. He has 40 plate appearances versus Justin Turner, 40 versus Corey Seager, 23 versus Bellinger, 20 versus Pollock. Julio Urias only has 20 versus one guy, and that's Brennan Belt, and he doesn't have 10 versus any other guys. So I think Cueto knows what he's getting into today, and I think he should be able to get out of some jams. I'm a little worried for Urias today. Wilmer Flores and Evan Longoria are guys that can do some damage. Next game up, Colorado Rockies at Arizona Diamondbacks. German Marquez versus Alex Young. Both pitchers are pretty solid options. Marquez has given up one homer to Eduardo Escobar, one to Ketel Marte, and one to Starling Marte. The guy I like the best in this Diamondbacks lineup is Ketel Marte, with 3 walks to 3 strikeouts versus German Marquez. Take a look at this Colorado Rockies lineup. 1 homer for Arenado versus Alex Young, and no other homers for anyone else. Young is on my budget pitchers list of the day. I do not believe the Rockies have been good against lefties. The Rockies have been 11% worse than league average against lefties than a normal team has. I do like Alex Young today as a pitcher to pick up against this Rockies offense. German Marquez, on the other hand, going against this Diamondbacks lineup, is not the same thing. 9% worse than league average against right-handers. I definitely like Alex Young's chances of having a better start than German Marquez's chance of having a good start. Target the value there with Alex Young. Seattle Mariners at San Diego Padres. Marco Gonzalez, another lefty, versus Chris Paddock. Again, Marco Gonzalez is another guy I like today. Surprise, surprise. I know it's kind of crazy. 2 cheap guys that I'm suggesting to you. These aren't $10,000 pitchers like Garrett Cole or Trevor Bauer. These are $6,000 guys, $7,000 guys that could probably give you the same production today because they have great matchups. Marco Gonzalez, lefty, going against that Padres lineup, who has been just about average versus lefties. You're not getting any crazy advantage with Marco Gonzalez. I just believe in Marco Gonzalez as a pitcher. I believe he has had He's just had a very good season so far. He's looked great. He's looked like one of the top 20 pitchers in baseball this year. He doesn't have the fastest fastball by any means. He probably averages around 92, 93. Like most lefties, he's not going to overpower guys, but he has that curve and he has good location. He's a great veteran pitcher he's been around the league enough where it seems like he's figuring out how to attack guys efficiently and get through innings and pitch 6 or 7 innings. And Marco Gonzalez is a guy who's really surprised me this year. Same thing with Pablo Lopez. It's nice being surprised by some of these pitchers when they exceed your expectations, or you really don't have any expectations for them to begin with, and you realize that it's kind of hard. You see a lot of starting pitchers come in and out throughout the years, and you see guys, Jose Quintana struggle, and he gets injured, and it isn't easy to be in a major league rotation for 3-4 years and be a guy your team can come to every 5th day. I think that gets overlooked. I think with a lot of guys being in the bullpen, we gas guys like Josh Hader and Aroldis Chapman. I don't know why Marco Gonzalez to me is way more valuable than a guy like Josh Hader or Aroldis Chapman. Marco Gonzalez is going to throw you 200 innings pitched. What is Chapman and Josh Hader giving you, 100? I think guys like this get underrated because they're not sexy. They don't get the strikeouts. But when it comes to a fantasy context, especially a rotisserie league fantasy baseball context, guys like Marco Gonzalez are great value because they're so underlooked and underrated. Sorry for the little Marco Gonzalez rant. Chris Paddock going against his Mariners lineup. No advantage there for the matchup data, and no batter versus pitcher matchup data to really talk about for these games so far. Next game up, Kansas City Royals at St. Louis Cardinals. The Dark Knight will try to rise again, and Matt Harvey going against Adam Wainwright. That's a pretty cool matchup. Wainwright versus Harvey. Definitely going to check that one out at 8 p.m. in St. Louis. Paul DeJong, if he's back, I love Paul DeJong. Great power. Probably one of the best, most reliable power shortstops when it comes to just, he's going to get those 30 home runs a year. It's pretty hard to ask for out of the shortstop position. 30 home runs a year. He's going to have a 230, 240 average, but 30 home runs, man. He's going to help you in your DFS lineups. Besides Paul DeJong, not a lot of stuff here. I will give a shout out to Brad Miller, who I believe had 3 hits yesterday. I picked him up in one of my leagues, and I was surprised. He was batting like 350 this year, so he's obviously hot. He's a hot hand, but don't shy away from playing that hot hand. Matt Carpenter, the 2, 4 walks to 3 strikeouts. I like that a lot. I know some of you might wonder why I even care about something like that. Maybe some of you guys that aren't into the whole play discipline stuff. That shows you that Carpenter isn't struggling against Matt Harvey. When I see that Paul Goldschmidt has 1 walk to 9 strikeouts versus Matt Harvey, it just tells me that Goldschmidt is being surprised by Harvey's stuff. He's being blown away by Harvey's stuff. He's not anticipating the stuff. It could be that Harvey just has a better book on Goldschmidt than Harvey does on Carpenter, but that still matters. Harvey is able to strike out Goldschmidt twice as easily as he is strike out Carpenter, and Carpenter's able to walk more than he strikeouts versus Harvey. So I think when it comes to the walk versus strikeout, it's about eliminating risk. It's about eliminating, you don't want to draft a guy who's going to give you a golden sombrero. And while Goldschmidt does have the lone homer in the St. Louis Cardinals lineup versus Harvey, I like Carpenter better, I like Brad Miller better, and I like Paul DeJong better if he's playing. I don't think he is. Paul DeJong, I think he's still injured or COVID, but Brad Miller and Matt Carpenter, definitely good value plays today. Adam Wainwright versus this Royals lineup. 1 lone homer to Hunter Dozier. Target him, but really not a lot of data to talk about besides Alex Gordon and Jorge Soler. I can tell you this, you're avoiding Jorge Soler today, and you're not picking up Alex Gordon. So take a look at Hunter Dozier. But that Royals lineup is never really a lineup you kind of want to get guys in. That's not a lineup that's going to give you too much production, and there's not a lot of good power hitters in that lineup. I think both these Mets games, no pitchers have been announced yet. We don't have any lineup data to go over the Mets games. That sucks, but so be it. This game, Luis Castillo, definitely one of the guys to target today going against this Brewers lineup. This Brewers lineup has been 33% worse than league average. This Brewers lineup has been against a righty. The only team worse against righty so far this year has been the Pittsburgh Pirates. Luis Castillo, I think I've seen something. His ERA is a lot higher than his FIP, his xFIP. Basically, what that means is Luis Castillo has been a little unlucky, but he's pitching great. He's pitching like a top 10, top 15 pitcher, and he's going against a matchup. He's in Milwaukee, which does scare me a little bit, but he's going against an offense that has shown they cannot hit righties this year. That being said, if you have the money, get Yelich in your lineup, get Hurria in your lineup. I think I say those guys every time, so I try not to do it too much. I do like Avisel Garcia. I do like Luis Urias, another guy I say a lot. But I'm going to be honest with you, you're not getting anyone from this Brewers lineup today going against Luis Castillo. Why? Why pick up a guy? Why pick up any guy going against Luis Castillo today who's probably going to be shut down this lineup today? Avoid these hitters. Take a look at some of these Reds hitters: Jesse Winker, Joey Votto, Tucker Barnhart. Again, when Tucker Barnhart, when any catcher has only 3 at-bats, but a 69 on base, a home run. He has a homer against Brandon Woodruff already, so Barnhart sees Woodruff well. The righty Woodruff, I would get a lot of these lefties in Cincinnati's lineup. They tend to have a pretty good amount of lefties to choose from. Winker, Barnhart, Votto, right there. Pretty good range of guys I like from Cincinnati's lineup. Next game up, Pittsburgh Pirates at Chicago White Sox. The lefty, Steven Brault, versus the righty, Lucas Giolito. No data to talk about for Giolito versus this Pirates team. The only guy of note in this White Sox team with any data is Yasmani Grandal. He seems like he's in a void today. You'd rather get Barnhart than Grandal. And Barnhart is going... let me point that out real quick. Barnhart has a home run against the guy he's facing in 3 at-bats. Grandal does not in 13. Grandal is going for $1,700 more today. Catcher is the easiest position to find value at. Because what you want to do, not just for catcher position, but for any position, for any high-end you need to find what high-end players have not performed well against their pitchers today. And I will definitely point that out more so and help you guys with that more so. Point out when a really elite stud hitter doesn't have the best data against the starter for the day. Next game up, Oakland Athletics at Texas Rangers. The lefty Sean Manaea going against the righty Kyle Gibson. Homers for Santana, Chu, Chirinos, and Gallo in the Rangers lineup. Homers for Laureano and Olsen in the Athletics lineup, 2 apiece. I like Laureano today. I like Olsen today. Piscotty, shout out to Piscotty for homering yesterday. Staying hot. Like to see that. Definitely like Chu, Santana, and that's it. I cannot suggest Mathis and Frazier to you guys. Chu and Santana. And I love Sean Manaea today. Going against this Texas Rangers lineup. The lefty, 31% worse Rangers have been against lefties this year. The lefty Manaea has a great matchup today against the Rangers. Chicago Cubs at Detroit Tigers. Tyler Chatwood making his start back against Spencer Turnbull. This is a hard one because Chatwood has been great this year and the Tigers have been horseshit bad this year. But I think Chatwood's come back from the IL or come back from a bullpen stint. So, you know, if you're picking 2 pitchers today, I don't think one of them should be Chatwood. Even though the matchup's great, I don't think it should be Chatwood. So I'm going to stop talking about Chatwood right there. Spencer Turnbull going against the Cubs. I don't like that. I think the Cubs have been pretty good against righties. Pretty good. Yeah, 15% better than league average. You're not, or 10%. You're not touching the Cubs. The league average Turnbull. I mean, he's been good, Turnbull, but going against this Cubs lineup, that's not going to get you an edge. I'd rather have the guy going against the Brewers, the Pirates. Hitters that I like, well, not a lot of data, but Kipnis looks like actually a really good option against Turnbull. Surprisingly enough, 2 home runs in 13 plate appearances, and Kipnis has been hot this year. So I love seeing that. Kipnis against Turnbull. Definitely target Jason Kipnis today in that Cubs lineup. Next game up, Minnesota Twins at Cleveland Indians. The lefty Rich Hill versus the righty Shane Bieber. Shane Bieber is probably going to be the biggest play today. He has given up homers to Marwin Gonzalez, Lamonte Wade Jr., Eddie Rosario, and Miguel Sano. Rosario with 3 homers is pretty nice to see. 1 walk to 5 strikeouts. Don't like to see that too much. I would rather take no one in this Twins lineup going against Shane Bieber. Pick up Shane Bieber and fade these Twin hitters today. Rich Hill going against this Indians lineup has given up no home runs in very limited at-bats though. But this Indians lineup has been atrocious against lefties. I mean, look at it. 43% worse than league average against lefties. I mean, this Twins lineup is like Billy fucking Hamilton going against lefties. I mean, what is it? Definitely pick up Rich Hill today. Hopefully he can go more than 2 innings and he can not get a fucking blister. I don't know what's up with that with Rich Hill. But definitely take a look at Rich Hill today going against that Indians lineup. Pray for no blister. Jesus. Pray for no blister. New York Yankees at Atlanta Braves. Garrett Cole. Oh, wow. Garrett Cole going against this Braves lineup is going to be a fun one to watch at 7:10 in SunTrust Park. Darno with the homer. So, if you don't want Barnhart, take a look at Darno, even though he's going against Garrett Cole. Of course, just like with Shane Bieber, I'm not going to be recommending these Braves hitters to you too much going against a great pitcher. I do like Matt Adams with that pop and Adam Duvall, cheap pop. But I'm not big on picking up a bat like Freeman or Ozuna when they're going against an ace. And I know you might say, oh, well, you have more faith in investing the money in a guy like Matt Adams or Adam Duvall. The reason is I'm paying $2,000 less. I don't want to make the investment in a high-end hitter that's going against an elite ace. So also, when you're buying low-end hitters, you want to make sure they're not going against elite aces either. That being said, when a guy like Cole or Bieber's pitching, the guys you get going against them batter-wise probably aren't going to do anything until the bullpen comes in. I mean, that's usually what happens. The starter leaves in the 6th inning, and the batters get 2 or 3 more at bats going against a shitty bullpen. I mean, pitching just sucks in Major League Baseball. There's a huge disparity between the hitting pool and the pitching pool, and no team has enough pitching. And it just baffles my mind where all these teams have amazing lineups. It seems like bottom to top, deep. Every team has deep ass lineups. And you go past the team's first or second starter. Some teams don't even have a first starter. You go past the team's first starter, and it's like fucking Corey Bachelor and Oswald and freaking Chris Flexen, and it's just it's less than quad A. It's quad B. I mean, it's triple B. It's not even it's triple F. I mean, this pitching's bad. Pitching is bad in MLB, and don't shy away too much from guys like Matt Adams and Adam Duvall, because once that bullpen comes in, these guys feast on It's like Cespedes. These guys feast on the 3-4. They feast on the bullpen pitchers. Freeman will get some hits against Cole. Duvall and Adams might not, but they'll feast on those freaking bullpen guys, and they're just looking to go yard. That's why they're just looking to go yard, and they're not going to go yard against Garrett Cole. Los Angeles Angels at Houston Astros. There's a doubleheader today. Julio Teheran is an interesting option. Can't recommend him though. He has not looked too sharp this year. Baltimore Orioles at Tampa Bay Rays. The lefty Tommy Malone versus the righty Tyler Glasnow. Definitely like Renato Nunez today from the Orioles lineup. No one besides him. This Rays lineup has a lot of good picks today. I think this is the lineup that you target, you stack, because who the hell is Tommy Malone? Now, I don't think the Rays have been particularly good. Rays have actually been very particularly good against lefties. This is definitely the lineup you target. You target Brandon Lau, even though he's a lefty. You target Mike Zunino at your catcher position. You target Jose Martinez and Yandy Diaz. You tag on Mike Brassia. But I've mentioned them again. Yandy Diaz and Jose Martinez, when they're going against lefties, are going to be starting. And they're good picks. Now, they don't have a lot of at-bats against this guy. They haven't done much. I mean, Jose Martinez has done some stuff against this guy. Definitely look at him. But all these guys, I don't think you can go wrong with really any of these Rays hitters today, because none of them are too expensive besides Meadows and Lau. And they're all great. They're all going to get hits today. I mean, this is just a great buy this Rays lineup today. Any guy, you can't go wrong. Any guy that's starting from 1 to 9, you can't go wrong with this Rays lineup. Brandon Lau, Mike Zunino, Jose Martinez, Yandy Diaz, Mike Brassia, Hunter Renfroe. Cannot go wrong with this Rays lineup. Tampa Bay Rays lineup today. Stack. Boston Red Sox at Toronto Blue Jays. The lefty Kyle Hart versus the righty Chase Anderson. 1 home run for Verdugo and Bradley. I'm a big Verdugo guy. If he's shown power against someone, I love that. Bogarts with 1 walk to 1 strikeout. I don't like paying the price for Bogarts because I don't think he has the power that I don't want to pay for a guy unless he really has that power. And to me, Bogarts and Verdugo are kind of the same player. That might sound crazy to some of you, but offensive profile-wise, I don't know what Bogarts is giving you that Verdugo's not. And I bet you Verdugo's $2,000 less because he's in the outfield. So Bogarts is not a guy I really ever like getting in my DFS. I think Bogarts is an amazing player and severely underrated by me and by many people. But the fact is, if you're like I was saying about Paul DeYoung, it kind of people look at that 30 home runs and Bogarts isn't really hitting 300 every year. Bogarts is really good at a lot of things, but he's not great at one thing. He's not a great batting average guy. He's not a great elite. He's not elite at one skill. He's an elite player because he's great at basically every single skill in baseball. I mean, he's a great defender. He hits for a great 280, 290 batting average. He hits for a great 25 homer pop. He runs well, he walks well, but he doesn't walk at a 400 pace. He doesn't steal 30 bags. He doesn't even steal 20 bags. He doesn't really steal bases like that. He doesn't really separate himself in a crazy way. And for that reason, Bogarts is probably looked at as very boring. And he is kind of very boring, but he's safe. So for DFS, safe ain't going to do much. But in a regular fantasy league, Bogarts is a great option. I do think there's more pop to that bat. I wouldn't be surprised if Bogarts is one of those guys that adds and becomes a 40-homer guy later in his career when he's trying to make more money. Maybe he'll start juicing, he'll change his approach, sacrifice some batting average. But Bogarts definitely has the hand-eye ability to hit 40 home runs if he sacrificed some contact ability and I think he may get frustrated and want to separate himself and try to earn more money when he gets to that contract year. I digress. Definitely take a look at Alex Verdugo today. No pitcher. You're not taking any of those pitchers today in that Red Sox Blue Jays game. Phillies at Nationals. Arrieta versus Fetty. I think Fetty's been better than expected this year. He's been serviceable. Arrieta with 2 home runs versus Soto, 2 versus Cabrera, 1 versus Trey Turner. Definitely take a look at Struble, Asdrubal Cabrera with the 440 on base and 1257 OPS versus Jake Arrieta. 1 homer for Kingery and Hoskins versus Eric Fetty. I like Hoskins. I think he hit a home run the other day. He's definitely getting that home run swing back going. Kingery, I can't suggest Kingery too because he's probably not starting. Take a look instead at Alec Bohm, the rookie. Last game we're going over today, guys. Los Angeles Angels at Houston Astros. Jose Suarez versus Christian Javier. Can't suggest either of these pitchers. Jose Suarez is too low, and I think too low of an option. And I think Christian Javier, you're paying too much of a price for a rookie going against this Angels team. Springer and Altuve each with a homer. I would take a look, though, at Abraham Toro. Because of the value, he's going $3,000 less. He homered the other day. He has some pop in that bat. But not a lot of easy picks today on the offensive side. Definitely harder today to find some guaranteed offensive guys. But on the other hand, today I have a lot. Maybe that's because there's a lot of pitchers I like today. I think there's a lot of good options today. Obviously, guys going against Pittsburgh, Milwaukee, Detroit, Cleveland, and Texas. These are my guys that I have on my board today. Luis Castillo going against the Brewers, Shane Bieber, Garrett Cole, Lucas Giolito. Budget pitchers, Alex Young, Marco Gonzalez, Sean Manaea, and Rich Hill. Now, I was tempted for my pair of the day to just make it Marco Gonzalez and Alex Young, Marco Gonzalez and Rich Hill, or Marco Gonzalez and Sean Manaea. Basically, I just wanted to suggest 2 of those budget pitchers. But after seeing Luis Castillo, how well he's been pitching and how bad the Brewers have been, I think that's maybe an 11-12 strikeout game Castillo could have. So I would really regret it if I did not tell you guys to have Luis Castillo, and I instead told you guys to just completely budget your pitchers. I think there's a reason you got to pay for the good pitchers. That being said, I don't want to pay for Garrett Cole today. Took a week off and all that. I don't want to pay for Shane Bieber. If DeGrom does pitch, I would maybe, but all those guys being Garrett Cole and DeGrom having a week off for however long it was, it does scare me a little bit. Every player is a creature of habit, but especially pitchers. And not liking Shane Bieber today is just kind of because it's like, all right, how long can this guy continue what he's doing? Not liking Lucas Giolito today just because he hasn't seemed like he has his consistency down. Marco Gonzalez has been more consistent than Lucas Giolito this year, without a doubt. Sean Manaea has thrown no-hitter. He's shown shades of being an elite pitcher. He's just had problems getting deep into the game. So definitely take a look at Marco Gonzalez and Sean Manaea today. That's it for today, guys. That's all I have to give to you. Okay? So good luck and have a good one.